What's going on, my international amigos of Spurs Nation? Hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Go Spurs, go. Let me know where you're at in the chat room. Let me know where you hail from, where you're shouting go Spurs go from. Today's episode is all about breaking down the first 20 games of the season. We got Dallas a couple times, we got the Lakers a couple times in the first 20 games. We have a tough schedule. So what we're gonna do on this channel is we're gonna break it up maybe into 2 or 3 episodes. And so today is part 1, right? Games 1 through 20. And that way we can kind of get a ballpark estimate of maybe the best case scenario and worst case scenario going into this season, right? So go Spurs go. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for subscribing to this channel and liking this video. If you want to go above and beyond, check out the Patreon link in the description below. Started a Patreon only podcast the other day. So if you are a Patreon member, go check out the Patreon only podcast. Smash that like button. Check Go Spurs Go when you do. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when we go live on this channel and when we're dropping new content. So Go Spurs Go, guys. Today's episode and Spurs Film Room from now on is brought to you by SpursTubeTv. Go ahead and check out the website. When you go over there, you can check out tickets to Spurs games. You can check out videos and podcasts from a bunch of different Spurs creators. You can check out the Spurs shop from Fanatics. When you head over there as well, check out the content from a lot of different Spurs creators out there. Check out their videos, their podcasts, check out their merch as well, right? So go Spurs go. Let's go ahead and get into the episode.
Hey! 2, 1, 0, and lift off. Hey! Isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta? Watch this. Isn't we supposed to be having a fiesta?
Go Spurs go, go Spurs go. What's going on, guys? So what I have here is an outlook of the first 20 games of the season for the San Antonio Spurs. So when we get into it, that's what we're going to be kind of dissecting here is these first 20 games, right? So when we're going to look at October, we're going to look at November, we're going to look at December, right? So this 20 game stretch that we're talking about is going to end in Portland on December 2nd, right? And then we'll pick up the next games on the next episode that kick off in December. All right, so looking at October, guys, this is the beginning of the season. The first home game is against Orlando, October 20th, right? It's a home game, right? So that's a good look for us. I think this is a good look for us to start the season. I think us trying to get a dub here from this young team would be a good confidence booster to start off the season. And then we're going to have to travel up to Denver. This is where it gets tough. I mean, this schedule does not, give any, it does not like give out any favors to anybody, right? So, the first away game of the season is going to be against Denver, up a mile high city, right? Derek White's return to Denver, a married man, right? Shout out Derek White. And then from there we're going to come home and play the defending champs, right, on the 23rd of October. All right, so that's a pretty good like opening stretch. You know what I mean? I'm not too mad about it. I'm not too mad about it at all. Then we got after Milwaukee, we're going to come home and we're going to play the new look Lakers, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, Anthony Davis. Let's see if they can all be healthy. And that squad might be something tough. It might not. I just don't see them being deep enough, honestly. So we'll see. Then we got Dallas and we have Milwaukee again to finish out October, right? So there's 6 games in October, 3 home, 3 away. Let me know what you guys think about that in the schedule, but these first 6 games, it's a good challenge. Now, let me tell you something about our schedule and being tough. What's going on, Sean Kelly? Appreciate the tip. Appreciate the tip, my man. something about planning schedules now. I would coach in the 6A level at the high school, but shout out to our head coach Brian Molina over here. He would always say something that always stuck with me. And when he would make his schedule for the following season, he would go into that meeting and try to make your schedule as hard as possible, right? I think that's the goal for every coach going into an off season and you're planning for the season in front of you. You want a tough schedule. You don't want to have like the third or fifth or 10th easiest schedule in the NBA. That's not what you want. You want to be challenged on a night to night basis. You want to be growing on a night to night basis. And from a coaching standpoint as well, if you're in a lot of like blowout games, it's just you don't really learn much from those, to be honest. They're just kind of like throwaway games. All right, so in this month of October, I think one of the biggest challenges is playing Milwaukee twice, obviously, home and away. We're going to get the defending champs right out the gate. We're going to get our first of 3 matchups here with Dallas, and then our first of 2 matchups with the Lakers in these first 20 games. Denver, right? It's probably one of the hardest places to play in general, right? And that's your first away game, right? Just because of the altitude, it's like you're playing at a disadvantage right away. So I'm going to go over in a little bit what my best case scenario and worst case scenario are for these 3 games. And then I'm going to give you kind of like a grand total there at the end. But let's go ahead and look on to November. Okay, so once we get through with Milwaukee for the second time on the road, we're going to stay on the road, and then we're going to go ahead and head off to Indiana, right? So we're going to start off November 1st against Indiana on the road. We're going to come home. We're going to play Dallas again, right? For the second time, right? Like I said, we're going to play Dallas 3 times in these first 20 games, right? Then we're going to go ahead and play Orlando for the second time as well. We're going to play them on the road this time. And then we're going to go ahead and go up to OKC and play on the road against good young team. That should be a lot of fun. All right. Then we got Sacramento on November 10th, right? Young Tyrese Halliburton, De'Aaron Fox. They just get better every year. So this is going to be a game that's highlighted on my book, man, because we want to be better than Sacramento. Nothing against Sacramento. We just want to be better than them, because if we're not as good as Sacramento, we've dropped to a low, right? As an organization. Anyway, so then we got to come off that game right now and then come back home and play Dallas. Let's see, were they both home games? Yeah, right. So let's go back really quick. Let's kind of look at our away and home scenario here. In November, we got 7 home games, 6 on the road, right? So it's a heavy schedule right now in November, right? We're on the road against Indy. We're home. We're away again for 2 games. Then we're home for 2 games, right? Against Dallas, right? And then we have to go ahead and head out to Los Angeles, where we're going to have we're going to play against both LA teams, obviously, right? So we're going to go ahead and head out to LA, play the Lakers for the second time. And we're going to go up against the Clippers right after that, right? So it's 2 days apart, right? So boom, boom. We're going to knock out both LA teams. I don't really know what the situation is with Kawhi. You guys let me know. Then we're going to go and continue this road trip, right? So our last home game was against Dallas. Then we got a road trip going on here. We're going to go to LA for a few games. Then we're going to head to Minnesota and see what they got cooking up over there with Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell, and Edwards. Then we're going to come back and we're going to play against the defending Western Conference champions in Phoenix on the 22nd of November. And then we got Atlanta, right, in the house in San Antonio, November 24th. And then we also got another home game against Boston, right? So we got a couple of cool East Coast games here at the end of the month of November. Also, Washington is on the board, right? So we're going to play Washington to close out the month of November. So when you take a look back and we're looking at November again, let's kind of take a step back. How many Eastern Conference teams we're playing? We're playing against Indiana, Orlando, that's 2. Let's see. Atlanta, Boston, and Washington. So we're going to play against 5 Western Conference teams. I mean, Eastern Conference teams, and then we're going to play against Dallas, OKC, Sacramento, the Lakers, the Clippers, Minnesota, and Phoenix. So we're going to play against 6 West Coast teams. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and move on to December. That way we can come back and kind of evaluate this a little bit more. In December, we're going to play, we're on the road versus Portland, right? And that's on December 2nd. And that's our first 20 games of the season, right? So my best case scenario over here is that we go 14-6, which we're going to go over here in a second. Worst case scenario is we go 7-13, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But how many of these teams that we're gonna be up against were in the playoffs? Let me see. So Denver was in the playoffs, obviously. The Lakers, Dallas, Milwaukee, Indiana was in the play-in. Didn't that doesn't count. Dallas again. Nope. The Clippers, Phoenix, Atlanta, Boston. I don't think Washington got in. Portland. All right, so we're going up against a lot of good playoff caliber teams here in this first 20 games. That's kind of the gist here, right? So when we first off, let me know what you guys think of those first 20 games. How confident are you? Do you feel like these? 'Cause I've always talked about you don't want to start bad in a regular season, and then you're playing from behind and you're trying to play catch up. Now the season has a lot of ups and downs. You're going to lose games and all that stuff, but when it comes to scheduling, you want a tough schedule. You want to be challenged, like I said earlier. So there's nothing wrong with being challenged and stepping up to a challenge and then losing some here and there. But we want our young guys to be challenged right out the gate. I like that. I think that's a good look for our scheduling over here. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're going to be right back. All right, we're back, Spurs Nation. All right, so let's go and look at my best case scenario. Now, I do believe that getting to 14-6 is a realistic possibility. Maybe 13-7, right? Like is a little bit more realistic. But I think if we come out and be competitive, there's no reason why we can't compete in a lot of these games coming up the stretch. I'm a big believer in it doesn't matter in what happened the previous season. Sorry, let me zoom through this a little bit in the front to get back to where we're at. I'm a big believer of when you start a new season, it's just like wipe the whole slate clean across the board. I mean, like, dude, like even if you're the defending champs, does not guarantee you're gonna get there again, right? Everything has to go right. You have to avoid injury. You have to, be playing well, and you have to be ready to bring it for a whole season. And sometimes, like, remember, I'm not gonna pick on Portland too much, but Portland was in the playoffs one year, went to the conference finals, right? And then the next year, it's like what, they can't even get out of the first round. So it's a real shuffle every year. That's why it's like if you're in the playoffs every season, that's hard. That's hard to do. So my best case scenario is that we're gonna take home some wins. Dang, why do I keep? There you go. I'm trying to zoom in. Here we go. All right. So best case scenario is that we come out 2-0. And then we take care of Orlando, we take care of Denver, right? We're gonna go ahead and start. I think we're gonna go 1-2 against the Mavericks, right? So we're gonna steal one game against the Mavericks. I think we can take care of Indiana. Let's say we're all healthy. This is assuming like everyone's healthy and we're actually playing well and the continuity is there right out of the gate and we're ready to play, right? I don't see Orlando being a problem either of these games. Going up against OKC and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be a test, but it's a test that I believe we can pass. You know what I'm saying? So Sacramento, like I was saying earlier, I know Sacramento had our number for the past season, maybe season and a half, but I'm very confident going up against Sacramento, with a lot of the old guys off the board. I think our young guys are ready to pace and run with these guys and kind of, separate ourselves from Sac Town a little bit. Um, I don't know what the situation is with Kawhi Leonard. So let's say he doesn't play. Maybe the Spurs can sneak one out there against the Clippers. Um, until Minnesota beats us, I'm going to say we're going to beat Minnesota. Atlanta, that's going to be a very fun game in the AT&T Center. Um, I think we can beat them. And then the Wizards, I don't have no idea what the Wizards are all about. And then we're going to split one game with the Lakers, and that puts us at and we're going to take care of Portland too. I don't have no idea what's going on with Portland. There's a lot of mysteries out there, man. They got Chauncey Billups as their head coach, and I like that, but I'm honest, I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna. Did they re-up on any players? Like, is Portland good? I don't think so. I don't think they made any big acquisitions, right? Well, anyways, so I'm not really scared of Portland either, right? So best case scenario is we're competitive in a lot of these matchups where we're gonna see the same team a few times. Like, we're gonna take one of the Dallas games. That would be a very good thing. We can split with LA, the Lakers, right? We take care of both Orlando games. Those are some games that, if we can take one against Atlanta or Boston, those are two really good teams, but we got them in our house. So if we can like bring the energy in the AT&T Center and fuel us past some of these Eastern Conference teams, you know what I'm saying? So that would be fun. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think the outlook should be that bad. Now, of course, I think we're gonna take both losses against the defending champs. I think Giannis is gonna rock us. Hopefully we can split one. That would be a good thing. Maybe their players are resting or I don't know what, but we play them two times early on in the season. I don't think that's a bad thing for us because if they are clicking, it's gonna test our team very early. And if they come out like, hey, we're gonna repeat, like we have that same championship pedigree. If Milwaukee brings that to the table right out of the gate, you know what I mean? That's a good test for our young guys right out the gate. It's like, okay, look, if they whoop our tail, it's like, okay, look, that's where we need to be. By the end of the season, we need to be as close to this Milwaukee team like as we can be, or if we come out and we compete and we steal one of these games, it should just elevate the confidence for all of our young guys. That's what I'm saying. Being challenged and being tested early is not a bad thing. You want to be tested early. That'll speed up your development curve. If I'm being honest, like let's say you're not that great of a team and you're playing against all these scrub teams in the first 15, 20 games, you're not going to get much better. If you're okay, then you should be able to compete in those games, but you're not going to get much better because you need to be tested. You need to face adversity and the team's got to grow through losses and grow through, the ups and downs. That's all part of it. That's all part of team sports and going through a season. You know what I'm saying? So challenges are good. Let's say Dallas takes two. I think Dallas can probably take two of the games against us. Luka's that good. Um, Okay, now am I still live? Oh my goodness. Wow, that is amazing. This stream did not end. Am I back? Am I live? Some people in here, right? So what's going on is that there is like weather. There's some bad weather where I'm at. Um so like the Wi-Fi has been going on and off like for the past, I don't know, 4 hours. I was hoping to try to make it through this episode um, without any technical difficulties. But yeah, no, the Wi-Fi. There's some rain and some clouds and thunder and some stuff happening where I'm at. So, yeah, wow, I can't believe I'm back. Shoot, what a break. Okay, um, we're gonna get right back into it, man. I'm so glad that this thing did not end. So, I mean, those of you guys that are still hanging with us, thank you, appreciate you. Or if you just joined, appreciate you joining. Just skip through that little break there. We had some difficulty. Okay, so let me go ahead and get my screen back. Let me get my screen back. Sorry, guys, the Wi-Fi went out here because we're going through some bad weather. But all right, let me see. Let me add this to my stream. Let me go ahead and let me see if I can get this back up. All right. All right, come on now. There we go. Okay. All right, guys. Sorry for that technical difficulty. We're talking about the schedule right before we left, and we're talking about my best case scenario. The Phoenix Suns, I have them coming in and taking care of us. I think Chris Paul, coming off of the season that they had, I want them to come into our house and test us. Now, best case scenario, 14-6. Or you guys let me know if I'm crazy there. See if you guys let me know if you guys see that happening, or do you see this worst case scenario happening where we go about 7-13 in these first 20 games? And that really means that what happened here is we only beat the teams that were like where we were at, like play in or missing the playoffs. Let's say we only beat those teams, and all those teams that were in the playoffs are still like leaps and bounds ahead of us, and we just cannot get any wins against those teams. Like for any reason, health goes wrong. We lose a couple games there down the stretch and at the buzzer, right? Like some stuff like that happens, and we just kind of struggle out of the gate early. I can see us going 7-13. Now, that means that we only beat teams like Orlando, Sacramento. We only beat Indiana, Minnesota, Orlando again. I really hope we take care of business again against Orlando. I mean, you guys that have been Spurs fans for the longest time, for the last 20 plus years, you remember like that feeling where you go up against a team that you should win, you should beat that team, and just knowing that your guys were always going to bring their A game no matter who we played, and we would take care against teams like that. And sometimes the games would be close and all that stuff, like not that they were easy games or anything, but we would win them for the most part. We would take home the W, right? So we need some of that going on again this year, and taking care of business against like Orlando twice would help. Minnesota, Washington, OKC. And that means all the good teams beat us, right? Like all the teams that were in the playoffs beat us basically. Milwaukee, the Lakers, Atlanta, the Clippers, Denver, Boston, Phoenix, Dallas whoops us 3 times. This is like the worst case scenario, right, in these first 20 games. So what I have here is like an over under, right? And I wanted to ask this to you guys, Spurs Nation. I want you to let me know in the live chat right now or in the post chat after this goes live. But if I put the over under at 9 wins, what do you guys think? Would you guys bet on the over? Would you guys bet on the under? Over 9 wins, under 9 wins in these first 20 games. You kind of got the whole scenario kind of here for you. October, we're going to get tested early. Then we're going to get a lot of run here in November, right? And we're going to play some tough teams, but we're also going to play against some East Coast teams and some teams that we've already kind of played already once or twice, so hopefully, again, like we can split one of these Laker games. We can take at least one of the 3 Dallas games. You know, if we take a couple losses to like Phoenix, you know, Milwaukee, that's all good. You know, that's okay. We can take losses to good teams. What I don't want to see happen is us take losses to Orlando, um, OKC, Sacramento, Minnesota. Those are games that we need to like have highlighted on our board, you know, as games that we need to win. You know, when we start losing those games, uh, prepare for a lot of a season full of growing pains. But if we come out and be competitive and like in these first 6 games, like let's say we start off 1-5, right? Let's say we lose to Denver, Milwaukee, Lakers, Dallas, and Milwaukee again, but we take care of Orlando. As long as we are in these games and we're not getting blown out by anybody, you can just relax. Don't freak out if we go 1-5 to start the season. Just it's okay. We got a tough schedule, but check it out. We know what the future holds. November holds a lot of opportunity for us. You know, we can take care of guys like Indiana, Orlando. Again, you know, we play against some teams that maybe are a little bit closer to us, and in OKC and Sacramento. Dallas, you know, we go out for revenge and try to sneak out one of those wins against Dallas. The Lakers, again, we're ready this time. You know, let's say the first time they're all healthy and they just kind of whoop us, the Lakers, you know, like with their size or whatever. You know, maybe the second time we can be ready to bounce back. You know, and then we got a couple good challenges there at the end of November in Phoenix, Atlanta, Boston. You know, those are 3 games uh that can make us better as just as a team, right? Like, so we go into those games thinking, all right, we need to play our tails off because we need to grow, we need to get better as a team, individually, as a team, and we need to solidify ourselves in our identity, right? So November's a big month. November's a big month for all that. And then in these first 20 games, we're gonna end this episode here on December 2nd. So in the next episode that we do, we're gonna break down games 21 through 40, right? Yeah, the next, 20 or 25 games, we'll see. But we'll do that on the next episode. So guys, let me know if you agree with me, disagree. Are you guys I'm actually favoring the best case scenario. I am always, like I said earlier, going to kind of start this season with a clean slate, and that's across the board. You know, if you're Milwaukee or Phoenix, you still have to come out and win games now, right? So as long as like us as the Spurs are ready to come out into the season and be ready to punch first and not be so like, oh, we're young and we're not capable of winning games. Like, no, like if we come out and we're like punching teams in the mouth and we're actually defending our tails off, getting out in transition, knocking down shots, and our young guys are kind of thriving and healthy for the first 20 games, bro, we can compete with anybody. We can compete with anybody. So, it's going to be a toss up at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, the Denver, I don't think they're going to have Jamal Murray back yet, right? So that kind of makes me confident against Denver. I didn't mention that earlier. So I think Dallas is pretty good, but in the last season, even with like DeMar and Rudy Gay and all those guys, we weren't that far away. Like we were in some of those games with Dallas, so they're good, but who knows? So if you're on that worst case scenario side, though, if you just feel like we're gonna be at the bottom of the league and we're only gonna be in games against other teams that are not that good, that are missing the playoffs, then you're probably over here on this worst case scenario. But either way, over under at 9 wins, right? I'm obviously on the over. I would put us maybe at 13-7, 14-6 at the end of the first 20 games. All right, so. All right, guys. So sorry for the technical difficulty again. Sorry for everything lagging out a little bit earlier. The Wi-Fi went out here. So before it goes out again, knocking on wood here, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Please make sure to smash that like button down below. Hit that notification bell on the channel so you get notified when we go live and when we drop new content. Got a lot of big plans coming up this season over here with SpursTubeTv. So make sure to check out the website, SpursTubeTv.com. When you head over there, you can buy tickets to the game. You can watch videos, different content. You have the After the Buzzer schedule there for all of our post games that are going to be coming up. Just to let you know, hosting these post games for you guys this season. You can find the list of contributors there on the site, and so it's gonna be a lot of fun. We got a lot of fun guys out there contributing that do a lot of content in their own right. They're podcasters, their videos, or they're YouTube guys. You know what I mean? They go live on Twitch, or they're writers out there, right? So it's just a lot of good, talented people out there that are going to be contributing this season. Should be a lot of fun. Check out their work. You can check out their individual pages and everything that they got going on their channels. All right, guys. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Again, sorry for the technical difficulty, but go Spurs go. Go Spurs go, man. I'll catch you guys on the next episode where we'll be breaking down another chunk of the schedule. All right, guys. So I'll see you guys later. Go Spurs go. Have a great night. Adios.